I'm Travis Metcalf, and I met Igor
Abuladze.
I met Igor on a music course. Right away, I think we both knew that there was a connection that was there, and the music that suddenly came out of this blending, was far better than what each of us had been doing solo. Mm-hmm. And it was a hit, it was really good. So Andy Boyd basically asked us to come record. It went by really fast. Before we knew it, we were done. When we sit down to play, what does work the best, when we get the best results, is when we just start. Often we don't even talk to each other at all before we start to play. I mean, we don't discuss anything. There's no need.
There's a plenty of nothingness on the radio, there's plenty of nothingness everywhere you go, in a shopping mall, and people are fed up with that nothingness, and it's just doesn't mean anything. But all of a sudden, every once in a while, I feel this as a blessing when you enter this area where you hear something. And what you hear is a mystery. You don't know how. You don't know how this happens, and it's impossible to explain or predict. It just happens. It could be Travis just hit that one note, and I feel the intention. I don't hear just the note. I feel the intention because it has a character. It has a specific tone. It takes me to a specific place, and if I feel like the doors are open. It doesn't happen every time, but when it happens, it's very recognizable. That feeling of almost like being possessed, and then it just evolves from there, and it's truly magical experience. Magical, not in a way of like saying, "Oh, magic, ooh, you know," or like just magic. Yeah. It's just magical in the way of inability to explain how. In that way, just that. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Mystery is a better word. Yeah.
It's something that, when you get into that zone, working in our case with music, and I know this is a commonly described experience in lots of fields, you get into that space where things are happening, and the experience when you're there is very much unlike what you feel when you're just sitting around every day. It's a different thing. The biggest trick I've ever learned in improvising is when I get lost and I don't know what to do, it's just to stop and listen, get back in touch with what's going on around me. What is everybody else doing? Let me get back in touch with that, because if I'm lost, it doesn't mean that the music is lost, it just means I'm lost. And
It's also confidence, but it's also the realization of what's possible. And it was an eye-opener for me that it was an unbelievable experience when actually we went and recorded this CD in 3 hours. I heard somebody saying that there is a music there waiting for us, but we're not ready to reach for it. And that was an experience for me, that when you are allowed to that space, it's like, I want to take this, and you realize if you'll try to take all these things at the same time, it's impossible. But you realize that all these things are there waiting for you. It's not opportunities, but it's this, it's like apples on a tree, right? If you want to try eat those apples all at the same time, it's impossible. But you grab for one, and you realize the reality, the beauty, and your own experience of taking this apple is absolutely unforgettable. It's like falling in love for the first time in your life. We all do that, but no one really talks about it very much because we don't understand how that happens. How do we fall in love? How? There is no science that can explain it to you. And same with reaching for these little things, you know. We call them names, but it really was just a necessity, you know. But we listened and we realized, where were we at that time? Blue, you know. We were at some point together. It was like we were both falling off the cliff, and we both knew that we're flying down from the cliff, but we're not gonna die. This is just, it just leads us to another place, you know. Just fantastic experience. So once you go through that, you realize that so many things are possible. And probably, if I would need to come up with like short description of what I gained from it, it's just unlimited amount of possibilities, musical possibilities, serving the music, ways to serve the music. So you can go to cdbaby.com, type the Solaris Project, and buy our CD, and you will make yourself a huge gift.
myspace.com/the Solaris Project, and we have 4 samples of the music from the CD, including a piece on there that doesn't exist anywhere else. A special treat for anybody who comes to our MySpace page. Email the Solaris Project at gmail.com. The email, I think our contact, you can also contact us on the MySpace page. If anybody has questions or feedback, I'll read it, Igor will read it, we'll answer questions.